All right, everyone, going to be jumping into another Prize Picks video, touching on the top prop bets today. So just real quick, recap from the last slate. Continue the weird trend that's been going on for the past week and a half, where it's been 4 out of 5 slip, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6 for the slips, 3 out of 4 multiple times. And it's just small kind of bad beats that are adding up. Now, we know in the long term, we're going to be fine. Since I've been giving out my bets of the day, we're almost up 300 units. Was up 300 units before this one missed, actually. So not sweating it at all. The hockey shots on goal prop, he had a shot missed. So nearly got there as well. Had the 2 shots, just missed the shot on goal. But over the past weeks, hitting well over 70% of the picks. So I know a lot of people sent me screenshots, DM me, commented saying, hey, I took your picks and I was able to get the 25x, which is awesome, or the 20x on Underdog. Love to see that, guys. Let's go on and get into the picks for today. So I'm actually going to start out with a little bit of MLB. We are currently getting some decent hitting fantasy score props. We got Kyle Schwarber for over his hitting fantasy score, a pretty low number there at 6.5. We can see the Vegas line would have it set at 8.02, and we can see the projection data would have it set at 7.86. So not locked low, but a pretty strong one there. And then we got Alvarez there as well, where his line is set at 7. We're going to see that kind of contradicts one of the better props that we were getting on the board as well. Against that in a second. But that's not a terrible one there as well. Let's look at the pitching fantasy score props that I want to mention here, because we are getting 2 good ones. So yesterday I mentioned Jordan Montgomery was the best bet that we had on the board. And you guys saw he crushed, right? That's kind of been the theme. It's a weird thing going on for the playoff baseball. During the regular season, on a day in which, I don't know, let's say we had 4 games or more going on, we would typically have a hitting fantasy score prop where the prize picks line was lower than the average Vegas line or the projected data by at least 2. And we saw that those hit 3 out of 4 times, really good rate. For these pitching fantasy score props, we really did not get these cases where the over bets were being favored by as much as they are. Now, the projection data is probably a little bit aggressive here for the playoffs. Okay. I'll give you guys that, but these have been hitting at a great rate as well. And so I'd be fine betting both of these. We got Gallon for over fantasy points, and then we also have Nathan for over fantasy points. And we look at those two, the only worry would be you couldn't bet Alvarez with this one, right? It wouldn't make sense. Those don't correlate together. So you just wouldn't be touching that one. And then kind of the same thing with Zach Gallen and Kyle Schwarber. Those two don't really correlate together. So really up to you guys what you want to do, but we can see that those are 2 of the better prop bets that we are getting on the day right now. And it is kind of funny. If they don't get there, well, let's just assume the 2 hitting fantasy score props were part of the reason as to why. Now we're going to go ahead and take a peek at the Prize Picks Underdog props for NHL. Right now, we're not getting that many good ones. This one's going to be bumped right here. I can already tell you that. Really, the only one that I think we might have a slight edge on here is Nico for over 2.5 shots in goal. The projection data has it set at 3. Vegas is giving him about a 53% chance to hit. Not a terrible one, but also feels like one we'd probably just be forcing just to make a NHL bet. Another one with Chris here. Could bet the over there, but all in all, those are not ones that I feel like we need to be chasing. And so we'll move on and we'll go ahead and get into the NFL. All right, so looking at it, guys, I did an NFL video. If you guys are interested in that, I do more of a deep dive for that. But we're going to see Dak Prescott is still going to be one of the better prop bets. Do want to call it out. That is a better bet on Underdog. So if you're running out Underdog as well, it's going to be a much better bet there. We see Brandon Cooks unders being favored there, and I'm probably staying away from that one, guys. But we can see the average Vegas line would have it set at 8.4, and they're heavily favoring the under there at that point. Now, the projection data would have it set at 9.2, so it's going to be up to you guys if you want to roll with that. But for the most part, I'll show you guys this tweet here. I posted this on Twitter. Make sure to be following me on Twitter, guys. The prize picks, the top bets from the prize picks cheat sheet that were shown here, snapshot 5 for 7 there. And then for Underdog, it was 6 for 7. And so more times than not, if we just blindly trust the data, we'll be fine. But I will say, for this one, it's Bryce Young right here. I didn't really want to bet the over there. And Chuba Hubbard here, I was like, I'm not betting the under there. I specifically called out on a video. So really, that went 5 for 5. If you just applied the prop lines where you thought there was a discrepancy. And so that's kind of how I feel about Brandon Cooks. I just feel like he is due for a big game. I know we haven't seen it recently or this season thus far. The Cowboys have played some weird games. We know that. So I'm probably staying away from that. Jake Ferguson, I'm worried that this one's going to get bumped now that it has a 55% chance to hit. Hopefully you guys were able to get on that yesterday during that video. CeeDee Lamb's a pretty good one there at 54.7. And like I mentioned with Wendell Robinson, so he wasn't a part of the bet of the day, but that's because the lines weren't out for him when I did the video. Was able to get some prop bets on him elsewhere at the same time after I finished the video, because I'm like, all right, I don't think that the lines are going to be respecting him. I mentioned that with Quintez Johnston, that we might be getting some really good lines on him. Right now, we do see that this receiving yards prop is probably one that we can be attacking. The average Vegas line has us at 34.3. So that's pretty good. The projection data likes that 32.6. So that is the slight edge there. I was hoping that we would get some sort of receptions prop at like 2.3 or even 3 receptions. I think I'd be betting the over there. I think he's going to be in for a bigger role coming in off of the bye. And then from there, we're not really getting that many awesome props just yet. I do like the fact that the Johnston one does kind of correlate with the over bets for Dak, for Jake Ferguson, for CeeDee Lamb. Okay. And one line that has, slightly changed is going to be this one for Tony Pollard from yesterday's video. Still a good one, still one that correlates. It's just a little bit less likely. So let's go ahead and get into my bet of the day for today. And so here we go. It's pretty simple for this one. We got Dak for over fantasy score. We do see that that's going to be one of the better ones. Once again, want to call it. That is going to be a better bet there on underdog. Okay. Zach Allen for over pitching fantasy score. Nathan for over pitching fantasy score there as well. CeeDee Lamb and Dak, that makes for a good stack. That makes for a correlated stack. Jake Ferguson for over 3.5 receptions is a good one. And I'm going to go with Johnston for over 30.5 receiving yards. I do still think Josh Palmer at 3.5 receptions is an interesting one. And I'm actually curious to see, I'm hoping that the public likes Austin Eckler for over 4.5 receptions, because I feel like that could kind of be a trap, just given the fact that in games where Keenan Allen has been active, we have really seen Eckler not get involved in the passing game as much. Now, with Mike Williams being out, that might change some things, but I'm actually curious about that line, where that goes today. But that's going to be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. If you did, you know what to do. Give that like and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on those good EV bets in each and every video that get bumped throughout the day. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want access to that cheat sheet tool, it is available at 95sports.com for just $10 a month. That's all I have for you guys for this video. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.